Hi, this is Blake from Yamaha Corporation, here with the Montage. So Montage is a replacement to the Motif XF. But it takes where the Motif XF left off and expands exponentially. So there's two synth engines that are brought together by a very sophisticated dynamic control interface. One of the engines is AWM2, which is the same, compression, ROM-based waveform synthesizer engine that the Motif was on, but it's exponentially larger. It's actually about 9 times the amount of wave ROM in this. So you have new pianos, new strings, new organs, and so on, all the way through. So lots and lots of new stuff.
So new sample sets, right?
Oh yeah, lots of new sample sets. CFX, and I actually loaded the Bosendorfer into the flash memory. It's all in flash, but there's about 1.75 gigabytes of open flash memory, and I have the Bosendorfer installed in here too. It also loads much faster than the Motif does, about 10 times faster, as opposed to 20 minutes to load that on a Motif. It's about 2 minutes, so much faster. Okay, the other end is an 8-operator FM synthesizer, but it goes so far beyond what FM is. It's got things like multiple waveforms that you can use in the operators. It has lots of effects, way higher fidelity. You can assign a filter to the FM engine, so it's a very dynamic thing. So that's brought together by this cool thing, and the super knob is sort of the cool feature in here.
Yeah, this is the USP, right? This is the
So what super knob does, you can see them moving these parameters in real time. You can assign different parameters to each of these assignable knobs, and they can go this way, they can go that way, left, right, different curves. There's a whole lot of
super
curves.
macro.
Exactly, super macro. So you can do very complex things that morph things together and interpolate things, and you can do simple things just like blending a string instrument. So I'll play some stuff here real quick. One of them, this cool sound, is called Turn It On, and this one kind of shows how the super knob moves from this very basic synth sound to this cool thing, but how it blends. It has pitch movement and all this cool filter stuff. So check this out. Now I'll move the super knob and listen to this. So that's what I mean. It's so huge.
I am feeling the wind from your woofers.
Yeah, right off the thing. So, I'll kind of talk about some other things you can do. First of all, the piano is the all-new CFX. Every note has been meticulously sampled. The thing that strikes me with the CFX is the dynamic range really emulates the real thing over there. So with this, I always kind of play the soft layer. Now with this sound, I can use the super knob. Now with super knob, if I don't want to touch the knob because I have both hands on the keyboard, I can use an FC7 to slowly bring in the super knob. So with this one, right there. So I'm controlling it with the foot, so both hands can be here, so I can free them up. So with this one, I have this, so I blended an FM piano with it. So it's a real simple way to use super knob is just blending FM, the two technologies.
Is there a limit to the number of parameters it can morph at the same time, or is it just infinite?
There's a limit, but it's quite a lot. Actually, a single part, I can go in here and I can assign up to 4 different parameters to a single assignable. So 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, the super knob controls them all. And they can move this way, that way. There's probably 20, 30 different parameters and curves that you can assign to the super knob.
I made that 32.
I guess that's 32, right?
Yeah, that's
so it's a lot, and it's cool because the ability to do, like, how many times have you wanted to to move 3 things at the same time, but you don't have 3 hands to do it. Super Knob allows you to do that.
Just makes it makes it assignable very quickly.
Exactly.
As well, I imagine.
And I should play some of the cool synth stuff because there's some great FM things. There's one called FM linear synth. And with this one, it starts out with this cacophonous kind of bell-like, very FM sound. And listen to what Super Knob does. It will interpolate from this sound to another FM sound that's actually, you know, pitched. So listen to this. It sounds like liquid mercury. The other way now. So really cool for sound designers, for people that are into EDM music. It's awesome. So, oh, sorry. I didn't know it was there.
Bit of lead. Oh, now we're all a rearray. That sounds amazing. So,
Yeah.
I mean, is there anything more about the AWM engine? I've obviously got the more sample.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, have you
So-
got more oscillators and that kind of thing? I mean, what's the sort of power there? Or is it...
It's very similar to kind of how the Motif XF worked, except the thing about Montage is with the Motif XF you had a performance, voice mode, song and pattern, then an associated mix mode. So they took all of that away and just we have performance mode now.
Right.
Performances have up to 8 playable parts, but a performance can also be a multi-timbral 16-way sequence as well. So for sequencing rather. So each of those are parts. The part is kind of analogous to what the voice was in the Motif, but it all lives in a central location, and it actually streamlines the interface and makes it very wide and not super deep. So, but it can get deep. It's great. What we like to say is, if you're a snorkeler and you like to snorkel over the top and just select sounds and enjoy that, you can do that. But if you want to go scuba diving, you can get way deep with this. When you look at the motion control page, it's amazing the kind of stuff that you can do to assign it. So there's going to be a lot of things for people that are very tweakers that want to go through and try out different things and create new sounds using both engines. But there's some stuff like the Pure F or the Pure AWM. This is new. This is Seattle section. So with motion control, what I can do here is I can start with this. This is a section, right? Now listen to this. I move and I morph into a smaller ensemble. Nice, yeah, nice stuff like that. There's also stuff like this one. This one's called choir strings and pipe organ. So what this is, it starts out with this nice, you know. So as I move it in, it brings it.
I think you're channeling Danny Elfman there,
That's
right?
right, yeah. So you have those type of sounds in here too. So lots of stuff for blending in real time, but what about people that are into more dance music and things like that? This is one called DJ Montage, and what this one does is I can start out and play a little arps. Now, what motion control does with this one is it's gonna bring in another arp, but it'll also open filters and all sorts of stuff, so check it out. I'll bring in another scene that adds the. Now I'm going to drop it all out.
Right. So, I mean, it's all in how you program the performances.
Exactly.
I mean, these are expertly crafted kind of things.
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah. But presumably, is it all done via the touchscreen, or have you got an editor that allows you to get in deep? I mean,
there will be an editor coming. It's not out yet. But here's what's elegant about this interface. I can operate the entire instrument directly from the touchscreen alone.
right.
Or I can operate the instrument directly from all the buttons alone. Either or a little bit of both. So here's a great example. I'm in the live set, and this is another thing we've added to make finding sounds and organizing sounds easier. Live set is basically 16 different performances here that I can select, and this one's called NAMM 2016, and it can go on and on and on. Lots and lots of live sets, gig 1, gig 2, or whatever.
Sure.
So in the live set in here, there's a category search area right here that is selectable in the touchscreen, but there's also a category search button over here. So it ends up being wherever my hand is more comfortable. Right now it's closer to here, so I select it here. And then I can navigate the same way here, going around selecting sounds here, or I can use the touchscreen to do the same thing.
Right.
So there's kind of this sort of convenient redundancy in selecting sounds in the instrument that just make it kind of a streamlined interface.
So it's interesting. I mean, you know, FM has been a legacy of Yamaha's.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing, you know, but it's been notoriously difficult to program. And have you got a kind of bunch of sounds ready to go that are really showing off what you could do with 8 ops? Because that is a lot of operators, right?
Yeah, it is, and there's a lot of stuff. For one thing, it's great about this. We will have coming shortly. It's a little ways out. But we'll have a TX DX converter that converts all the existing TX and DX and TX sounds into Montage format.
So into 6 up to 8. So you then got
right.
Okay.
And, well, it'll still probably be 6 operators because those are 6 operator sounds.
Yeah, sure.
But you can always add more operators if you wanted to do that. But the idea of moving those sounds from it was a 12-bit mono. You know, DX7 was.
But there are thousands of classic sounds in there, aren't there?
And there's a bunch of them in here. In fact, one of the live sets in the preset area here is, there's an FM bank in here. So these are just FM sounds. And there's some like FM CS80 brass. And this kind of brings to bear some of the things you can do that you couldn't really do with the existing FM synth. So with this one, you have the, so this one, here's something you didn't have in FM. So we have a resonant filter we can apply to an FM sound. But then the super knob actually changes the timbre to kind of more of a
square kind of thing, yeah.
There's a melody there, so you get the idea of what it could possibly sound like. So very cool sounds in here. There's, you know, the FM lately bass sound.
I haven't heard that for a little while, but that was, that's
absolutely. But super knob will change the timbre. There's always something that super knob seems to do. Plus, you also have the actual ability to change things with the filter.
So how about sample input? I mean, because, you know, you guys have long been able to do that. So can you bring your own Fs in or WAVs or anything and process those, or is it more about the synth engine?
It's more about the synth engine with this one. We'll have AWM content you'll be able to load into it, but it's not a sampler per se in that way. Now, I'm not sure. The development might change things like that. Will you be able to do things like that? But we'll see kind of how it develops. Because
I mean, there's got to be a whole ton of DSP in there, right?
There's a whole ton of DSP, and all I can tell you is this. I know that over the course of Montage's development, things are going to be evolving. That's the best way to say it.
So in terms of, like, you know, just the nuts and bolts, polyphony, number of effects, that kind of thing, what are we talking about?
So polyphony, AWM2 engine in here, 10 times the waveform, 128 stereo polyphony as opposed to mono polyphony. So you have double the polyphony of the XF.
Yeah.
And then 128 on the on the FMX side, that's its own 128 note polyphony. So as far as DSP goes, you have your variation and reverb effect as well. But on the XF, you had 8 insertion effects available on a 16 multi-timbral thing. So you'd have to pick which 8. This one's all 16 have their own effect blocks. And that's 2 effects per part.
Because that's the thing. I mean, I think I reviewed some time back something at one of the Motif, and it was just, there was so much synthesis in there that you don't really, you know, because most of the stuff that we see is the sort of slick kind of performance side of it. But in terms of synth engine, there's a hell of a lot going on.
Oh yeah, Motif did. And so this is even more so because it still has a lot of the similarities with the Motif in the AWM engine, how you edit things and the filter types and stuff. But then you have this whole other FM thing, and then you have this whole control interface here that adds even more, you know, capabilities to do some cool stuff. The other thing is that as far as connecting to the computer, with the Motif, you had to buy flash memory, and you had to buy the FireWire card to do multiple channels out. With this, flash is built in, but the FireWire is now replaced by USB, and it's 16 stereo to the computer and 3 returns at 44/116 bit.
So you can route it how you like.
Oh yeah, so you can record everything all at the same time. Now, if you want to go to 192, it drops it to 4 stereo outs, but you still get stereo outputs built in digital on the output. So that's a cool thing to add to it as well.
So I'm very conscious of the fact you're staying late for us to do this.
No, not at all.
There are. This is the big boy, isn't it? This is the 88 key weighted version. Comes in 6, 7, and 8.
6, 7, and 8. That's right. So this one is it's 63 pounds. So whatever that is, and I was just in Canada and I was so good at
63
doing
pounds
everything.
is good. What, kilograms?
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to be around about 30 kilograms.
Yeah, 30, right.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. 2.2?
Yeah,
That's right,
something
yeah.
like that. And in terms of availability, do you know when they're going to be?
We're looking at about May.
Okay.
Yeah, about May 1st, we'll probably be able to have them in the market.
And if I were to ask you about price, are you the right guy to talk to, or would you refer me elsewhere? Do you know how much it's going to be in US dollars, say? That's fine.
That's a good question. I'd have to consult
It's okay.
Nate about
Don't
that
worry,
one.
we'll put it in the story. But
okay.
So that's absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. I mean, if there's any other patches you just want to play out with, I'll just leave you
Well, I'll
to
play
it.
one that just has been striking me lately is because last night one of our artists was playing and he found this American Garage is what it is. So that's that Pat Metheny record.
Okay.
So I'm sure it's going to be it. But he was playing it last night and I was like... So I was hearing this sound, I was like, what is that? I hadn't seen that sound. He says, oh, it's this sound. So I went over and checked it out. And super knob, but this one turns up more of the effect. And that is an amazing sound. So I took a look at it, and this is what blew me away. It's 1 part performance, and that's FM, pure FM. That's not a sample. And that's what blew my mind, because I remember, and then when I hear it, it sounds like the old FM jazz guitar sound, but way better.
Way more sensitive.
So that blew my mind. That's just one. I mean, I could go on and on. There's so many great sounds in here. And there's going to be so many all over the web about this, because there's a lot of great things. So I'm just really totally stoked to have the new product here, because this sounds awesome.
Blake, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Much appreciated.
Man, you guys are awesome. I read your stuff all the time, so it's great. It's great to talk to you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Award-winning customer service. Fast, free shipping on most orders. Own the gear of your dreams today.